Welcome to the patio on a rare sunny day in southern Spain. I know, right? Everything about this fall and winter season so far has been nothing short of rare. At least I will be able to pan the camera without shaking and shivering. We'll start with the sunshine on our back and have a look at some Ancelia africanas. It is so good to have you here. Thank you for taking a moment to see what is going on with my collection and what is not going on. But anyway, my Ancelia africanas are absolutely loving it. They're on the table, they're enjoying the sunshine, and some of them are busting their moves with spikes. It is absolutely wonderful. Now, these spikes are going to take forever to develop. At least that's what it's going to feel like. But isn't that the saying in the orchid hobby that once you see a spike, you can't wait for it to bloom? But you know, even once you see a new growth, you can't wait for the orchid to show a spike, and then you can't wait for it to bloom, and so on and so forth. So these are going to be amazing because hopefully by early to mid-spring, we have ourselves several Ancelia africana blooms to enjoy. One of my Ancelia africanas, Kenya mud crossed with self, has to be a little bit more protected because those growths are still maturing a little bit. If she blooms for us again in 2025, that would be a summer bloomer. But she's also extremely top heavy, and I didn't get around to repotting her into a bigger pot during the season of 2024. But she makes up my fourth one, so hopefully we'll see some blooms from her come summer 2025. What I wanted to show you back here, more importantly, is the rescue mission of my Fias Tankenvillia. It's progressing. The growths are a little smaller, but that's to be expected considering how I had neglected her. Same with my Cymbidium. She had one teeny tiny new growth when I decimated that pot that I let burn out, literally, oh dear, cook in the Spanish summer heat. Now that new growth has not progressed. That's the one on the left. The one on the right, however, is brand new. It is actually a new growth, new to this pseudobulb. So there's hope. She is just a minutia of what she used to be. But still, I find that this is pretty exciting. If she can make a comeback slowly but surely, I think that is going to be absolutely awesome. Yes, we've had a lot of rain, so just give me a moment. I'm going to flush my Ancelia africana pot, which I do sporadically during the winters because I grow in a semi-hydroponic setup, self-watering with leca. And while I don't have the reservoir full all the time, I do not let my pots dry out completely, which is completely different if you were to grow Ancelia africanas in organic media. Then usually it is advisable to give them a drier winter rest, but not in my case. And then also very exciting to see that my Dendrobium nobile no ID already has nubbins starting. This is exciting. I'm so happy to see all the progress. Also, after this orchid had the big burn in the summer, we are still going to get ourselves some gorgeous freesia smelling blooms. Now, for those of you that know the patio well, you will probably be surprised to see that the rack is still on the east side and not on the west side of the patio where we will be headed further into this little tour. And my excuse is, first of all, look at the sun when the sun shines. These orchids, loving it. But physically, I have been unable to move that rack. And it is absolutely the first time this rack finds itself on the east side all the way through December. Now, if this works, well, never mind. I don't want to say if this works, I'll do this all the time because I should be moving the indoor orchids outside onto the west side, onto this rack so they can enjoy sunshine. However, it has been such bad weather, so overcast, so cold. Temperatures have been matching January, February temperatures, and that for the most part already throughout December. So there was really no chance for me to get my indoor orchids outside, and in a way that was pretty okay because then I wouldn't feel so bad, seeing as physically I couldn't even move my pots. So I'm just going to wait what I am going to be able to accomplish physically and then we'll see if that rack ever moves. But for now, I do have some orchids that can handle the cold. I'm testing the Prostechias out. I'm not too comfortable with those being in the cold temperatures, but I figured they need more light than what they can get indoors. Anyway, long story short, the east rack is still on the east side and not on the west side. So moving on swiftly from all of that, look at what we can anticipate come mid-spring 2025. The curtain project of the Dendrobium aphyllum with the keikis on the monster mount that I thought is going to really flush out and have its effect that I was looking for in 2026, we are already going to see fantastic signs of what is going to happen in 2026. Some of the canes of those keikis have grown exponentially and it's starting to come into fruition. So this is amazing, and you can see that she is in full senescing mode. Well, as I am removing the dead leaves bit by bit, I can assure you that come February, I'm already looking for nubbins to swell on the canes, and then we'll have ourselves a beautiful spectacle, maybe beginning of May, depending on the temperatures once again. So let's get in there into the blooming alley. I have more orchids on the shelves than ever during my past winters, but we can't do that without looking at the beautiful Leomesetia lava burst. Look at this spike hit by the Spanish winter sun. I think it just looks absolutely amazing. And you know what? The last spike was really, really good considering this orchid is a rescued one. And I am even more impressed with this spike because we've got branching. This is amazing. I'm so excited. I can't wait to show you. But it takes forever for these to develop as well. So we have a lot of lava bursts to look forward to in the future, as well as another flush of Dendrobium exile blooms. These are only a fraction of what I have going on with my exile. So that is exciting. Also something we get to look forward to. And then the few orchids that I do bring in and out as and when I can are my Vanda loose Nereis. So they are in the lofty heights in the blooming alley enjoying some winter sun. But what I want to show you is that the variety blue, my weirdo, that is why all the spikes look a little funky. Just wait until you see how the blooms look. If you think this looks weird, they'll look even weirder. But still, she has a marvelous fragrance and the blooms are, well, how should I say? Just stick around and watch out for when she blooms. I will show you. It's hard to explain. So I'm just giving you a quick overview of what the blooming alley looks like right now. Yeah, that's a lot of orchids outside. And you know, they haven't been inside. Some scary stuff going on. A Brocatabola golden peacock has never had to experience the cold temperatures I'm exposing her to. She has always been in and out, in and out. She's working on another spike. I've already lost one bud because of birds, not because of the cold temperatures. The Laelia purpuratas, they can absolutely take these cold temperatures. Their first winter outside was in 23-24, and they did super well. And well, a Miltonia can also tolerate colder temperatures. A Maxima I would prefer to have inside because she is nothing short of, she's not even a juvenile yet, but she's growing roots. So yeah, and she's got this tiny minuscule scale. I don't want that in the grow space. It's all a bit risque, but they're being monitored. And well, we're just going to have to keep our fingers crossed that these orchids are going to pull through, which includes my Rupicolous. You can see the bending of the leaves, not appreciating the colder night temperatures either. But then, of course, there's another one like a Cincorana. She can handle it. She is actively growing 2 new growths. They're almost mature. And then we have something very exciting, which could be the first time bloomer, the first one on the patio for 2025, and that is Cattleya lobata. This is her first sheath. The question is, will she bloom? I don't know, but it is exciting that we have already come to this step. She arrived in the collection in 2018, and we have been working towards something that looks like this. I'm very pleased to see this sheath. Dendrobium pocket lover is under the protection of the blooming alley, but I thought I would bring her out so that I could show you how loaded she is with nubbins as well. And I'm not moving her in and out even though she's a small pot, because I did that last winter and we had a lot of nubbins that failed because of me constantly moving her. So she's staying outside and let's see what happens. But all these nubbins, they look really promising. I'm excited. Now back to the blooming alley. On the lower shelf, I have Laelia pacavia. She should be okay with the colder temperatures. A bit concerned about the radiata here. She should not be outside. Some of her leaves are objecting, but that could also be low humidity. My maxima is absolutely digging these temperatures. We've got 3 sheaths. She hasn't bloomed for us all of 2024. I was hopeful that she would do so during the fall and maybe now winter. We may need to wait until spring, but she's doing well. That is the most important thing. My guatemalensis for the first time is also exposed to the cold. Normally she comes indoors, but the size of the pot, yep, I've mentioned all of that before. It's not feasible. So fingers crossed there. The CG Roebling has always been a dodgy one, so she's been outdoors in the winters in the past. She'll be okay, whether she likes it or not, but yeah, she's not coming inside because of her dodgy behavior. But then as we pan around, I've also left my Cattleya intermedios outside. There's 2 of them, because when I got them, they were seedlings, and then when they matured, etc., with repotting, I realized there was 2. They were recently separated. Well, recently. They were separated on a live stream in 2023, I think. One is maturing a super nice new growth and the other one is growing a new growth. They can tolerate lower temperatures. I don't know if they can go into single digits when it comes to Celsius, but here they are, and if the sun shines, they get all of the sun in that part of the blooming alley. My Amphoethea can handle colder temperatures, not single digits as we have had, but she can go down to 12 degrees Celsius. So yes, I'm pushing the envelope with a lot of my orchids. Fingers crossed that all goes well. But you know, at least here I can monitor her root growth, and well, she gets a lot of misting on that hob filter material because I don't want to risk any water in the apex, and I don't want to risk the 2 little keikis or plants that are growing at her base. They started earlier in 2024 and it has been quite the dance to keep them happy. What I need them to do, and this is why I'm so cautious with everything, is I need them to grow the roots into the pot, because eventually their roots will support the mother plant. As you can see, it is quite difficult to keep those stiff aerial roots hydrated, so fingers crossed that they do well. But I'm so loving how this orchid is progressing. Just, oh, and it's going to be fabulous to also see her bright pink little blooms mid-spring as well, towards end spring, because she blooms for a very long time. And then, excite, I may have to actually correct myself. I have a feeling that my wishlist orchid rubescens is going to bloom before the lobata. Maybe I jumped the gun there, but look at this, a spike on my Laelia rubescens, who is brand new to the orchid collection, and Cattleya and Sphelzii is coming back with another spike. So these 2 are where they are just to protect them from the birds. As you can see, I have a lot of natural fertilizer on the leaves everywhere. They like to perch and wait for the door to open, so they come in and visit Ciliano. So let's seg over to the Rupicolous Cattleya table. Now, this is just a little overview of what I'm going to plan with an update video on the majority of my Rupicolous Cattleyas. I'm not going to do an update on all of them, only the ones where I've messed up, show you how they're doing, not doing, and well, just to show you that there's quite a few that are in spike. There is a first-time bloomer in this collection as well. This is astounding. I am so pleased. We have spikes, new growths, and some that are still struggling. Not sure if they're going to come through, but there's a surprise first-time bloomer on this table from a Rupicolous Cattleya that came in dire straits. So while I clean up this little section of the deep south from where my angrecoids were last week, that's all I'm doing because physically I'm not up to be able to do the whole thing in one go. I take it in little increments. And then if you want to see that Rupicolous Laelia update and discover which one is going to be in bloom for the first time, well, you know what's next. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, because with this holiday season at the time of filming, things can be be a little bit dodgy. Everybody's a bit busy, but at least you will get the notification of when that video airs. And then there's a big reveal as to who comes into bloom for the first time. 2025 is already looking quite promising, at least from the aspect of orchids that can live outside, that are performing. We're not even going to talk about the ones indoors that are struggling. Not yet. It is a happy time of year, and I'll stick to that. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, and if you don't mind, would you also please give this video a thumbs up? I would so appreciate it. I would love to get into the algorithm so that we can get more eyeballs on this channel, and the support is much needed and much appreciated. Thank you so much. Now, normally my rack would be here on the west side because look, you know, sparkling sunshine. However, this is an exception. In the last 8 weeks, we do have sun. So normally we would be looking at a lot of orchids on this side. However, I do have my Vanda totem pole that I always show you that I'm so proud of. It has to live outdoors, and it does beautifully because we have ourselves some winter blooms, and oh my goodness, I'm telling you, let's count. There's 3 spikes, and all those gorgeous roots to the left belong to the Andersonii. There's a Papilionantha teres also on this totem pole, so those roots to the left belong to the Papilionantha. But okay, 3 spikes on the Chaupraia, but we're not done yet, plus 2 spikes on another fan. That makes 5, but we're not done yet. We have 2 spikes also on another fan of the Chaupraia, and that is only just starting to come into bloom, and I'm loving it. Yes, we are also taking care of a seed pod. We'll see how far that goes. This orchid is super duper busy. It is going to be absolutely wonderful when the sun shines, that I'm going to be able to appreciate blueberry sugar fragrance on the patio from this orchid. It's delicious. And then with 7 spikes, we counted 7. What's not to like? This winter, she is also very slow to come out of the gates. Again, when there is no sun, they can't perform. Normally, she's already in bloom in November for the 2nd time in her growing season within a 12-month calendar period. But I am going to take blooms in December, and it'll be all the way through January as well as February. It's going to be sensational, and I hope that you stick around because I am going to be showing them. Yes, I am. All of them. I really appreciate you watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me on the patio, and thank you for watching it to the end because you give me the opportunity to wish you a beautiful day, on the condition though, please, that you stay safe. Take care. Bye.